Monday on the hardwood NBA. Click that like, hit subscribe. We got a full slate of games, so let's hop right into it. Again, giving you all the trends, bets, predictions, analysis, statistics, everything to help you with your handicap here. That's our goal. Lakers at the Hornets. Lakers laying 7.5. Your over-under is 230.5. 76% of the bets going to the over, equating to 48% of the money. 24% of tickets to the under account for 52% of the money. Now it's all love on the Lake Show after they come off that disappointing loss where the Hawks romped them. 75% of bets, 95% of the handle going to the Lakers, 25% of tickets, and only 5% of the handle going to the Charlotte Hornets in this matchup. Now, the Hornets, 1-5 ATS their last 6 games overall, and 1-5 straight up in that same time frame. They've had trouble scoring the basketball. They've played to the under 4 of their last 5 at home, and 5 straight they've played to the under. Now, the Lakers, finally, that 5-game winning streak was broken up by the Hawks, puts them at 5-1 straight up and ATS over their last 6. Lakers have been a scoring machine, playing to the over 8 of their last 10. And against Charlotte, the Lakers have had some true dominance. 9-3-1 ATS over the last 13 matchups. Lakers come in 7-3 straight up, 7-3 ATS. The Hornets 3-6 straight up, 4-5 against the spread. Lakers have taken 7 of the last 10 meetings against the Hornets. Now, Austin Reeves, he's still questionable tonight. Obviously, Gabe Vincent and LeBron, they keep being out. Bridges is day-to-day, but it looks like he's going to play. LaMelo Ball, he is out. This is the problem with Ball. They just can't get him and keep him on the floor. Same thing with Miller. He's out. Sexton's out. So the Lakers here, I'm not going to lay 7.5 on the road, but quite honestly, it's Lakers or nothing. You put them in any kind of parlay, possibly with the Pistons, the New York Rangers. Actually, I think that's a good little 3-team parlay. Lakers, Pistons, Rangers plus $1.36. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some on that for myself. Now, when you look at points as far as that goes, again, Austin Reeves looking like he's going to go. Bridges, I said Sexton was out, but that is wrong. He's going to play. You can get Knipple, put him in a parlay, 15-plus points. Luka, obviously, it's hard to do anything with him because if you even try to get the short number at 25-plus, you got to lay $11, so it doesn't even make sense in your parlay to do that as you're billing it out. But you could go Austin. If you wanted to go Austin Reeves to get to 15 with the Lakers money line, Rangers, and the hockey money line, and Pistons plus $1.59 if you wanted to kind of, step out there and see if that could do it for you. Now, 4+ made threes, Luka minus $1.72. To me, that's just too high. You look at some rebound props. Again, Ayton, he's almost got to get a double-double every freaking game to get anything out of it. In play, I always say this, and I'll sound like a broken record. In play and halftimes are the best way to bet the NBA. But I do like Lakers, Austin Reeves give 15-plus points. New York Rangers money line, Detroit Pistons money line plus 160. Here's a game for you. Portland Trail Blazers visiting the Orlando Magic. Magic laying 2.5. You're over under 235.5. 55% of the bets. 31% of the handle going to the over, 45% of bets, 69% of the handle going to the under 235.5. Right now, Orlando laying the 2.5 is catching 53% of bets and 58% of the handle. The Blazers are catching 47% of bets, 42% of the handle here for the Portland Trail Blazers. Magic, disappointing start to the season, even dating back to last year. 5-10 straight up their last 15 and 3-9 ATS over their last 12. Portland, however, 4-2 straight up their last 6, and they're 7-3 against the number of their last 10 games. Portland's been playing good ball. They've played to the over 5 of their last 6. Orlando just 1-5 ATS their last 6 home games. And head-to-head, Portland is 4-1 against the spread the last 5 matchups with the Magic. Portland comes in 5-4 straight up, 6-3 against the number. Orlando 4-6 straight up, 3-7 against the number. Now Portland's taken 3 of the last 5 meetings. They won the last 2. Portland's taken 6 of the last 10 overall between these two teams. Thibault looks like he's still going to be out. And then Wagner, obviously, he's out for the whole year. When I look at this, man, Portland's been a tough go here. You know, that they've played really tough basketball. We had them against the Thunder the other night. They're coming off the loss at Miami. They only lost by 5. If you look at Orlando, back-to-back games with Boston, they won 1, they lost 1. Just been really erratic here. And against Portland, I'm just not sure what we're going to get out of Orlando. With that being said, I would lay 2 with the Magic would be my lean. But nothing pre-flop here as of right now I want to get into. But again, Orlando -2 would definitely be the lean there. Next game, the Washington Wiz kids who stink, catching 11.5 at Detroit. Again, I said Detroit and all your money line parlays here, whatever you play tonight. 235.5 your over-under. Now, the ticket's 50-50 split to the over-under. Basically the same thing with the money, 52% of the money to the over, 48% to the under. 70% of tickets and 66% of the handle are laying it with Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons. 30% of bets, 34% of the handle, taking the money with the Washington Wizards. Wizards 0-8 straight up their last 8 games and 0-8 ATS in that same time frame. Detroit 5-1 ATS and 6-0 straight up in their last 6. And Detroit is 4-1 ATS their last 5 at home. Here's the issue. The Wizards are just 2-4 against the spread the last 6 versus the Pistons. But somehow, magically, the Wizards are 11-4 straight up their last 15 games versus the Detroit Pistons. Don't even tell me how that happens. Wizards 1-9 straight up, 1-9 ATS this year. That one win coming on the road. Detroit 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the number. Now, at Philly, Detroit was at last night, won a tight one, 111-108. And then 2 nights ago, the Wizards lost 111-105 to Dallas. So I'm going to shock the world. There's a couple 12s out there, 11.5 or 12 of where this sits. I'm actually going to back the Wizards plus 12 here. 1, they've had dominance over the Pistons. 2, Pistons are on a back-to-back where even though it's not a, it's still somewhat of a road trip. At Philly and a tight game. Now they're coming back. This is a low spot. I actually think Wizards plus 12 has some value here. I still like the Pistons in the money line parlays, but I think the Wizards plus 12 here definitely has got some legs to it. Cleveland Cavaliers at the Miami Heat. Cleveland laying 7.5. You're over under 246.5. 46% of tickets, 84% of the money going to the over. 54% of tickets, 16% of the handle going to the under. Now, as far as the spread goes, 54% of tickets are laying it with the Cavs. 46% of tickets are taking it with the Heat. And 76% of the money is on the Cavaliers, 24% of the money on the Heat here. Cleveland comes in. They're just 3-9 ATS over their last 12. They haven't been a good covering team, but they've definitely accumulated wins. 4-1 straight up their last 5. And against Miami, they're 4-2 ATS the last 6 and 6-0 straight up the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Now, the Heat 7-3 ATS over their last 10, and they're 7-3 straight up in that same time period. They've been an over team. The over has cashed 14 of the last 20 games for the Heat, and head-to-head with Cleveland, the over has cashed 7 of the last 9. Cleveland comes into this 7-3 straight up, 3-7 ATS. So again, winning games, not covering spreads. Miami 6-4 and 7-3 ATS. Cleveland has taken again 7 of the last 10, but 6 of those in a row. And they haven't even been close, actually. The last 2 last year, 138-83, 124-87, 112, 121-112, 121-100. There was only one time that it was less than 10 last year between these two teams. So as much as part of me really wants to take the 8.5s that are out there with the Heat, I think I'm just going to resist and hold off on that. Again, don't want to step in. Some of it, again, it's all over the board. There's even some 7.5s. I'm looking right now. FanDuel has 7.5. So you got 7.5s, 8 and 8.5s. Just none I want to get into. I would say if I had to play the game, I would take the Heat. But I would rather have the Wizards in a soft spot for the Pistons. or I'd rather lay 2 with the Magic than take a Heat team that Cleveland's just absolutely owned. When you look at from a player prop, again, to score 20-plus points, Donovan Mitchell, minus 410. You can put him in somewhere. If you put in Donovan Mitchell with Austin Reeves to score 15-plus, Lakers money line, Rangers money line. So you got Mitchell 20-plus, Reeves 15-plus, the Rangers and the Lakers. That gets you plus 179, maybe something you throw out there in that one. Next game on the board, 2 teams have been playing extremely good basketball. 2 teams really excited about the future of them. Spurs laying 3.5 on the road at the Chi-Town Bulls. Over under 236.5, 69% of the tickets, 95% of the handle going to the over, 31% of tickets, 5% of the handle going to the under. Now, ticket count pretty much 50-50, 60% Spurs, 40% Bulls. A little bit of movement there. Spurs are getting 74% of the money compared to just 26% of the money going to the Chicago Bulls in this one. Spurs 8-2 straight up their last 10. Bulls 12-5 straight up their last 17. Again, 2 teams, even dating back to last year, they finished the season right, and now they're playing really good ball. Bulls at home 5-0 against the spread. They're 7-2 ATS their last 9 overall. If you've been following the Bulls, you're making some money. Now, the Spurs have played to the over 4 of their last 5. Bulls have played to the over 5 of their last 7. But the head-to-head is really what gets me here. In the last 6 matchups, the Bulls are 6-0 straight up and 5-1 ATS against the Spurs. They've really had their number. Spurs 7-2 straight up, 5-3-1 ATS on the season. Bulls 6-3 straight up, 6-2-1 ATS on the season. Again, Bulls have taken 6 straight in 7 of the last 10. Spurs had the night off last night. They've won 2 in a row, Rockets and Pelicans. Bulls had the night off. They've lost 3 of their last 4, lost to the Bucks by 16, lost to the Cavs by 6. So really tough spots for the Chicago Bulls there. But I think this is going to move to 4. I would lean Bulls plus 4. I think you get good value there with them. And so I would take the Bulls plus the 4 against the Spurs. Again, I lean Bulls plus 4. I lean Wizards. I'm actually going to play the Wizards plus 12. And I'm probably going to end up firing on the Magic minus 2. I've been following them. Just at some point in time, they got to stop biting me. Bucks are laying 2.5, over under 230.5. 60% of tickets to the over, 40% to the under. 56% of the money going to the under, 44% of the money going to the over. Now, the Bucks are getting 79% of ticket count and 65% of the money. Overwhelming love for the Milwaukee Bucks. 31% of ticket count, 35% of money going to the Dallas Mavericks in this one. As far as trends to help you out with your handicap, Bucks 1-4 ATS their last 5. Dallas 6-13 ATS their last 19. This Dallas thing, Jason Kidd better get this thing turned around. I'm telling you, too much talent in Dallas to be doing what they're doing. 1-4 straight up their last 5, and Dallas has played to the under 6 of their last 7. Now, to the head-to-head. Bucks 6-0 straight up the last 6 meetings with Dallas and 5-0-1 ATS in that same time frame. And the over between these 2 teams is cashed 5 of the last 7 matchup. Bucks come in 6-4 straight up in ATS. Mavs come in 3-7 straight up in ATS. Again, the Bucks 6 in a row. They've taken 8 of the last 10. Now, Mavs, they got by the Wizards 2 nights ago, 111-105. Still pretty rough. Last night, the Bucks had the loss 122-115 to Kevin Durant and the Rockets. So now they're doing the Texas 2-step here, but the problem is it's away. So Texas 2-step ain't in Texas. They had the Rockets at home. Now they got to travel down to the Dallas Mavericks. And when you look at, Giannis, I'm not sure his status on the night. Obviously, that's the thing with NBA. Make sure right before tip-off you're diving into everything. But so far, all signs are he's going to play. Anthony Davis, he's questionable for tonight. If Davis plays, I actually like the Mavs. But I would have to get Davis. If Davis plays, I'll take the Mavs +2, +2.5, and I'll bet it. especially Bucks with the travel. But I have to have Anthony Davis. Without him, I don't want anything to do with the Mavs, especially with their whole point guard issue. New Orleans Pelicans are visiting the Phoenix Suns. Suns laying 8.5, 227.5 your over under. 73% of bets, 23% of the handle going to the over. 27% of bets, 77% of the handle going to the under. Suns are getting all the love here, folks. 70% of bets, 83% of the handle to the Phoenix Suns. 30% of ticket count, 17% of the bets going to the New Orleans Pelicans. Jordan Poole, he's going to be out tonight. So, I mean, he's out for at least another week. Obviously, DeJounte Murray's out. Williamson, Zion's out for another week. That guy can't stay healthy. Jalen Green, the Suns just got him back. Now he's out with a hamstring again. So just, Suns money line might be something here. Again, if you're throwing parlays around, I don't want to get too many parlays. Really important. I do these parlay things and these scenarios for you guys because I know you're going to bet them anyway, but I can't stress enough. If you wouldn't play it straight, don't put in a parlay. And it's hard enough to win one game, trying to win 2, 3, or 4. So that's why when I do these parlays, if you notice, it's not a lot of pre-flop numbers. I'm doing alt totals, just something to pick up a unit. Pick up units one at a time. I know everybody wants to pick up 20, 30 units at one time, but unless you got some phenomenal bankroll where you're betting 1,000, 2,000 a game, that's just not possible. You got to chip away at it and have a really good plan. New Orleans Pelicans 4-1 ATS their last 5, but they're just 2-14 straight up their last 16 games overall, and they're 1-11 straight up on the road their last 12. Suns 4-1 straight up their last 5 and 5-1 ATS. Again, Suns coming to this 5-5, Pelicans 2-7. I really got no interest in this. Always down for some alt scoring totals for Devin Booker, obviously. If you want to put the Suns in your one parlay you're going to do on the money line, I'm down with that, but just nothing else I want to get into. Minnesota Timberwolves are at the Utah Jazz. Jazz are catching 7.5 at home, 234.5 your over under. 56% of bets, 68% of the handle to the over. 44% of bets, 32% of the handle going to the under. Now, 68% ticket count and 48% of the money are laying the 7.5 on the road with the T-Wolves. 32% of tickets, 52% of the handle are taking it with the Jazz here. Minnesota 5-2 ATS. The last 7 meetings with the Jazz. Minnesota has been a little better as of late. 4-1 straight up their last 5 and 4-1 ATS in that same time frame. And they've started to score. 6 of their last 7 have clipped to the over. Utah, they're just 1-5 straight up their last 6 and 2-4 ATS in that same time frame. Head-to-head with the T-Wolves, Jazz and T-Wolves, when they've locked up the last 9 matchups, 6 of them have went to the under. Minnesota 6-4 straight up, 4-6 against the number. Jazz 3-6 straight up, but 5-4 against the number. These two teams just met 3 days ago in Minnesota, a game the T-Wolves won by 40. And the T-Wolves have won 9 of the last 10 meetings with the Utah Jazz. I really want to take the Jazz plus 7.5. But, man, when a team dominates you the way Minnesota's dominated Utah, it's really hard to step in front of that. Niang is still out for the Jazz, and obviously losing Walker Kessler just changed everything about the Jazz season. If I was going to play the game, with all that being said, if I was going to play the game, I would grab the points with the Jazz at home. But I think I'm going to take a pass. I think in-game is a way to look. Maybe the Jazz jump out to a big lead. You can get the T-Wolves at a cheap price. Or if the T-Wolves get up like 20 or so, you can grab the Jazz, plus 25-ish, see where it goes. But I actually think this is probably one of the better games of the night for in-play, to be honest with you. So just keep an eye on that as it goes throughout the night, because I think there are some really good opportunities in-game here that you're going to get with this Utah-Minnesota game. Last game on the board, the LA Clippers welcome the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks just beat the Lakers. They're going back cross-country. Clippers laying 4.5. You're over-under 221.5. Now, the over-under is all kinds of screwed up as far as ticket and money. 78% of bets to the over, 13% of the handle to the over, 22% of tickets to the under, and 87% of the money to the under. As far as that spread goes, 57% of tickets Clippers, 43% Hawks, but the money is all Clip all the time. 90% of the money going to the LA Clippers. Hawks just 4-8 ATS their last 12, but they're 4-2 straight up their last 6. They've actually hung in there better than I thought they would since losing Trae Young. Clippers 1-5 straight up their last 6. They've been awful, disgusting, and they haven't covered a spread in any of their last 5 at home. Kawhi Leonard, he is out tonight. Of course, he only plays like 20 games a year. Bradley Beal, he's questionable tonight with that left hip soreness. Jalen Johnson, he's a game time decision. Nickeil Alexander-Walker for the Hawks is a game time decision. With all that being said, Clippers 4-1 ATS their last 5 versus the Atlanta Hawks, and the Clippers head-to-head have taken the last 2 meetings dating back to last year and 6 of the last 10. Right now, Clippers -$2. I would lay the 5 with the Clippers. If you can find a 4.5, great. But I love the Clippers here to win this game. Now, I'm not going to lay $2. Not going to do that. You can't lay that straight. But what I will do is a team I really, really like, and the line keeps growing, is the New York Rangers. I gave that out in hockey as a 5-unit play. I think you can save you some money here. Rangers in hockey with Clippers in the NBA plus $1.32. Get you a triple unit action on that. If you're not going to play the Rangers straight, you can get plus money here for a triple unit. Again, I lean Jazz. I think if you put the Suns in your money line parlays or whatever parlays, you're good. I like the Clippers -4.5 or 5 a lot. I love them with that parlay with the Rangers. I lean Dallas if I'm going to get AD. I lean the Bulls. I am going to play the Wizards +12. Wait a little bit. That might even grow. I lean the Magic -2. And the Lakers win tonight, but I'm not laying 7.5. Again, click that like, hit subscribe. Break the Board Sports, where we help you become a better handicapper. God bless and happy handicapping.